He carried no romantic fantasies, no fairy tales, no hopeful illusions. Niccolo Machiavelli, the man who showed rulers how to govern and enemies how to fear, left behind a truth so raw, so unsettling, that most men never dare to face it. What if everything you've been told about what women want is wrong? What if the real answer was hidden inside a 500-year-old manuscript written by one of the most ruthless political thinkers in history? Stay with me, because what you're about to hear might completely reshape how you view every relationship you've ever experienced. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, this is where we dive into the deeper psychology behind human behavior, the kind of truths people rarely say out loud. Today's topic sits at the crossroads of philosophy, evolutionary psychology, and the cold, unfiltered ideas of Niccolo Machiavelli. We're going to break down what Machiavelli actually believed about female nature, why modern psychology quietly supports his views, and most importantly, what it all means for you as a man navigating attraction, relationships, and influence in the modern world. This isn't about hating women, it isn't about manipulation, it's about understanding, because you cannot change what you refuse to see. Let's begin. Part 1. Who was Machiavelli, and why should you trust him? Most people recognize Machiavelli from one book, The Prince. Written in 1513, it served as a brutally honest manual on power. Machiavelli didn't write what people wanted to hear, he wrote what actually worked. He observed rulers rise and fall. He studied human nature the way a surgeon studies a body, without sentiment, without bias, without comforting illusions. And what truly set Machiavelli apart from every self-help writer, every relationship coach, and every philosopher before him was this. He didn't ask, what should people be? He asked, what are people really? That difference changes everything, because most men enter relationships with an imagined version of a woman, one that exists only in their minds. They project loyalty, consistency, deep emotional commitment, and then feel blindsided when reality doesn't match the fantasy. Machiavelli would look at that man and say, "You failed before you even started. You never studied your terrain." He believed that misunderstanding human nature, especially female nature, was one of the greatest strategic mistakes a man could make. So, what exactly did he believe? Let's go deeper. Part 2. Machiavelli's core observation, the nature of desire. Machiavelli made a fundamental observation about people. They are drawn to strength and turned away by weakness. This wasn't a moral claim, it was simply an observation, like gravity. You don't have to like it, but it remains true. In The Prince, he wrote, "Men are so simple and so subject to present necessities that he who seeks to deceive will always find someone who will allow himself to be deceived." Now apply that idea to attraction. What Machiavelli understood centuries before evolutionary psychologists coined terms like hypergamy is that women are instinctively drawn to men who project power, certainty, and status. Not because women are shallow, but because at a biological level, these traits signal the ability to protect, provide, and lead. Here's the harsh truth many men resist. A woman's attraction isn't primarily driven by how much you love her, it's driven by how much she respects you. Love without respect doesn't create attraction, it creates pity, and pity cannot sustain desire. Machiavelli saw this repeatedly in royal courts. The ruler who begged for loyalty earned contempt. The ruler who commanded respect gained devotion, even from those who feared him. This is what he described as the difference between being loved and being feared. And he argued it is safer to be feared than loved because love is conditional, while respect is structural. It's built on how you carry yourself every single day. Now, modern psychology reinforces this in ways that would likely make Machiavelli nod in agreement. Part 3. What modern psychology confirms. David Buss, an evolutionary psychologist at the University of Texas, conducted one of the largest studies on human mate preferences, spanning 37 cultures across 6 continents. His results were clear. Women across cultures consistently prioritize ambition, resource acquisition, and social dominance in a partner. These are not learned preferences, they are deeply wired. This doesn't mean women are gold diggers, it means the female brain evolved over hundreds of thousands of years to favor men who could lead, protect, and provide, traits that historically ensured survival. Here's where Machiavelli's insight becomes strikingly precise. How a man presents himself often matters more than what he actually feels. Think about it. A man can be deeply loving, loyal, committed, and emotionally available, but if he presents himself as needy, uncertain, or desperate for validation,